Well, I thought, we all thought, the best way for us to honor the 72 team is for you to meet them individually. Would you like to do that? Let's start it off with number 1 on the scorecard in your hearts, Roy Firestone. Here he is. Here's number 1, Garrett. Number 11 was a backup quarterback, one of my all-time favorites too. Jim Delgazio is here. But I know you know that the starting quarterback for much of the season is number 12, Mr. Bob Greasy. Hall of Famer, I might add. Whoops. You don't want to break your leg again, do you? Hey, Bob. Number 13, and we're glad he's back. Jake Scott is here. Hi, Jake. Good to see you. Thanks for coming all the way from Hawaii, I might add. Number 20, the man who turned that Steeler game around. A great punter, and he also was a wide receiver a few years before that. Larry Seipel. Larry Seipel.
Can I ask a small favor? Could you wait that from that side instead?
Okay, I can't see everybody, so forgive me. So I'll just wait till... Okay, I'm going to move it on. Okay, great. Number 21, one of your all-time favorites, Jim Kick is here. Number 22, if we could just get him out of his shell.
Yeah.
Eugene Mercury Morris. Number 23, represented by his wife, the late great Charlie Lee. Marie Lee is here. Marie? Thank you. Number 25, our quarterback, Tim Foley. Number 26, quarterback, Lloyd Mumford.
Bullet!
There's Lloyd. Number 28, Eddie Jenkins is here. Eddie Jenkins, a running back. Number 32, fullback Tom Curtis. Tom Curtis, reserve, is here. We announced him earlier. Once again, here's Larry Seipel. Larry Seipel right in front of us. Number 32, Hubert, I should say. Hubert Ginn. Hubert, running back. Hubert Ginn. Hi, Hubert. Number 40, one of the all-time greats, I think belongs in the Hall of Fame, by the way. I'm sure you do too. Dick Anderson.
Bad timing.
Number 42, what can I say? Hall of Famer, Paul Warfield.
For Christ's sakes, dude. Move your ass. Move. Sit that fat ass
Number 45, a quarterback, sans the fro, Curtis Johnson. All right, number 49, who came up with that huge block punt, Charlie Babb, our safety man. Represented by his wife, Pam Matheson, great linebacker, game changer, Bob Matheson, we remember tonight. Thank you, Pam. Number 54, the quarterback, Howard Kindig, is here in our house. There's Howard. Okay. We do want to mention a gentleman who couldn't be here tonight, but boy, where would we be without him? Number 67, Bob Kuchenberg. I don't know if we had mentioned him earlier. We certainly would love to have him take a bow unless he wants to come on up. We got to acknowledge the Earl of Miami, Earl Morrill. Represented by his wife, the late Jan Powell, the late linebacker Jesse Powell. We remember Jesse Powell. Number 57, you remember him as Captain Crunch, Mike Cohen. Our offensive guard, Al Jenkins. Al Jenkins. There's Big Al. Number 65, defensive lineman, Malty Moore is here. Malty. Take your time, take your time. Good to see you, Malty. Pleasure, thank you. Malty Moore, everybody. And boy, what can I say? Original Miamian, and a guy who was here through a lot of hard times and the very best of times. He's the Hall of Famer, Chicken Larry Little! Number 78, Chicken, how are you? Good to see you, Larry. There you go, my man, always. We want to mention, of course, defensive end, Mr. Jim Riley is here. Jim Riley. There you go. Hi, James. Good to see you. Pleasure. My pleasure. We have, let's see, from the University of Pacific, I still remember that, number 72, Bob Hines, our defensive tackle. There we go, still limper. Hi, Bob. How are you? Good to see you. We have one of the all-time most beloved Dolphin linemen, and I think he's one of Don's all-time favorite players. I would not be mistaken in saying this. A tremendous player, offensive tackle Norm Evans is here. An original Miami Dolphin, too, from the first year. Norm Evans.
How skinny he is. He looks good.
Manny Fernandez. Hi, Manny. Number 77, our offensive tackle, Doug Kuzan. All the way from Indiana University. Hall of Famer, Indiana University. Defensive tackle Jim Dunaway, number 78. and a guy who I think owns more or as many rings as anybody in professional football history, 9 world championships or championship rings or Hall of Fame rings. Marv Fleming is here tonight. Where's Marv?
Marvelous Marv.
Number 81, the man who caught the first touchdown of that Super Bowl, Howard Twilley, also an original Dolphin. There's the man, number 81. Number 82, I came out of the plane with him, and he's still one of my faves, also from Iowa State. Now lives in Santa Barbara, actually. We came out on the plane together. Otto Stone, say hi to Otto. Number 83, a real game changer, defensive end, Vern Den Herder. Excellent. We have number 84, the Outland Trophy winner, one of the all-time great defensive ends. Very nice to see you. We'll mention that too. We did not mention Mr. Bill Stanfield, however. Bill. Number 51, our linebacker, Larry Ball in our house. Give it up for Larry. And what can I say about this guy? You talk about a game changer, also a Hall of Famer, and one of the most important players in Miami Dolphin history, the Secretary of Defense, Mr. Nick Bonacani. Wide receiver, number 86, Marlon Briscoe.
Marlon!
There's the man. And we honor posthumously a wonderful guy, beloved in this community, and you know him very, very well. We just lost him, sadly. Representing him is Nick Mandich. Ladies and gentlemen, let's really hear for Jim Mandich. And let's see, we have number 89, and also an original Dolphin, Carl Noonan, wide receiver.
I guess not.
I want to acknowledge so many great coaches too, people who really put this whole squad together. And he's still very, very much with us in Florida Atlantic, and also the first championship coach at the University of Miami. Let's not forget our Hurricanes. Here's Howard Stone. Representing a man who is going to be honored Sunday, David Arnsparger, Mary Susan Klein, our defensive coordinator, Bill Arnsparger, everybody. Yes. By the way, I do want to also mention Bonnie Mandich is here too, so let's also give a nice hand for Bonnie Mandich. Sorry about that. Let's see what we got here. Is it okay? We have to. We have, he had to go back, but we have to acknowledge probably the most important player on the offense, number 39, Larry Zonka. That's not together. Also Hall of Famer, by the way. We have a couple more here. We do want to acknowledge Representative Mary Keene, representing the defensive back coach Tom Keene. Lucy Tassif, representing our running back coach Carl Tassif. Number 79, one of the great tackles too, Solomon Wayne Moore, posthumously. God bless Wayne Moore. So, ladies and gentlemen, what else can I say? You're looking at perfection. Let's hear it for the Miami Dolphins. And now, it's time for me personally, a big thrill for me to introduce the architect of perfection. Where would we be without this man? And may I have your seat for temporary purposes, Mr. Don Shula, Coach Don Shula.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you. What a great night. To see everybody up here again, and each guy that I look at brings back a different memory. Some good, some not so good. Kiddingly, they were all good memories. But the thing that we're going to do tonight is that I want to have them demonstrate to you how we used to do the grass drill, and then the gassers, which is a sprint. A sprint back and forth across the field. But you know, when you think back about the accomplishments of this football team, the organization, from the owner Joe Robbie, the assistant coaches, the players, everybody connected with the organization, and to think it's been 40 years since that happened, and it didn't happen in the 50 years before that, and it hasn't happened in the 40 years since. So that's why we're pretty proud of that accomplishment. You know, we've been depicted as a bunch of angry old men that can't wait for that last undefeated team to get beat. Yeah. And that's not true at all. One year the last undefeated team got beat, and Dick Anderson and Nick Bonacani lived across the street from each other down in Coral Gables. And they went out into the parking lot and toasted each other with a glass of champagne. And they were too cheap to invite the rest of us to the party. But the thing about these players in that football team was the fact that you know, they paid attention to detail. We were the least penalized team in the National Football League, and we made the fewest mental errors, you know, of any team. We never beat ourselves because we didn't know what to do. And the other thing is, by the penalty, if we had a penalty in practice, somebody jumping offside or unnecessary holding, we would stop the practice and tell them that if this happened on a critical play in the game, it could decide the outcome of the game. So that they felt that it was that important that we didn't make practice errors and had practice penalties, and that way it didn't happen in the heat of a ball game. So that's when I think about this football team and the things that they accomplished. It's just such a pleasure to be around and to see the guys again, and to know that they're doing well and that they had that great experience 40 years ago, like I had that great experience. Thank you for being such great fans of the Miami Dolphins. You know, when I came down here, the people they went to the games, but they rooted for the team in the city that they came from. And when we started to win, you know, they forgot about where they came from, and they became Dolphin fans. And that's another thing that trademarks this group of players up here and the fans that are out there, the pride that they took in the accomplishments of this football team. Hey, thanks for the night. It's been a great night, and it's been a great week, and you know, we're gonna enjoy it, and people might think that we celebrate too much, but the hell with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an extraordinary evening. I think you'll agree. And what I'm going to ask is if you guys could all get even closer, and we maybe get some folks. We want to have some guys that take a seat. Can we take? No, you just stand up on the rows. 3 rows. We are going to take, and this is the greatest photo op you folks will ever have too, probably. We're going to take a picture with all of these players, and we want to certainly make sure we can see Coach back there too. So we want to do it in such a way that we can situate all of these athletes, because folks, take a good look at perfection. You'll never see it anywhere else. This is something else.